episode of the Sartorial Geek podcast is sponsored by Jordan Dene. Jordan Dene has all kinds of geek chic apparel and accessories. Our designs are hand-lettered and inspired by our favorite characters and stories in pop culture. We have tank tops that can be worn with a skirt, under a blazer, to the gym, and as pajamas. Please check us out at jordandene.com and all over the internet at Jordan Dene NYC.
Hey, welcome to the Sartorial Geek podcast. I'm Jordan Ellis of Jordan Dene, and I am here with Liz Crowder, who is the editor of all things at Sartorial Geek.
Hey guys.
So thank you so much for the reviews that you've all been leaving. They are, first of all, very sweet and make me cry sometimes, but also really helpful. And one of the things that you guys have said is that you enjoy all the new recommendations that happen out of episodes from people talking. And so Liz and I decided to do a full episode of recommendations.
Yes, we did decide that. It's going to be real good.
Yeah, so these are some things we're loving right now. And then in the show notes, you should come talk to us about things you're loving.
Yeah.
And we can all chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, okay, first thing, which is not my strong suit. What is something good that you've read lately?
Okay, so favorite book right now. I didn't read it recently. I actually read it a few years ago, but it's one of those books that you finish. Well, it's a series. So there's 2 written and then we're waiting for 1 more.
Cool.
But it's one of those things that you read and then you're just like, you think about it.
Think about it forever
later
and never stop.
In your spare time. Yeah, so it's The Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss.
Okay.
It is, I love fantasy, and it's fantasy that's not just like, I've created this world so that we can talk about magic, but also the writing sucks. Like, he is a storyteller.
It's a good idea, but
oh my
good
god!
luck
And
getting through it.
he writes it. He writes it so well.
Yay.
It's so good.
Is it like a young adult, or is it like
I would say
older than that?
No,
Okay,
I would
cool.
say he's writing for us.
Cool.
Like,
Good.
it's dense and it's rich. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's Game of Thronesy because it's not the same vibe at all, but it's like that kind of like really dense world building.
Yeah, that like level of
like commitment and like literary prowess, and
Good.
like you don't feel like you're reading a children's book.
So maybe if you're waiting for the last Game of Thrones book to ever show up.
Well,
you can read
yes, I think Patrick Rothfuss will write the 3rd book before George R.R. Martin
totally.
he's going to be fully dead.
Right. And yes, okay.
So I have faith that it will happen. So something super cool. Patrick Rothfuss and I don't want to tell you who yet, but they're working on a TV show, a movie, and also a video game based on like this world that he's created with the Kingkiller Chronicle, and he is working with. I want you to guess who he's working with to make this.
My
happen.
only guess is David Tennant.
No, it's even better. He is working with Lin-Manuel Miranda to make this thing.
Way.
Swear to God! And when I saw that, I was like, all of my things. Also, Lin-Manuel Miranda said that there's a line in Moana that he was inspired by Kingkiller Chronicle and Patrick Rothfuss. It's when, well, I don't want to ruin Moana for people, but
Yeah, go watch Moana. It's very
but
good.
also, right, so when she says like, I know your name,
Yeah.
he got that from him because in the Kingkiller Chronicle, if you know someone's name, it means you fully know them. So it's about he's like kind of like a rogue magician who kind of like, so they tell it's like a story within a story. So when it starts, he's older, and he's in like a tavern or a bar that he owns, just like, and like, he's like a shell of who he used to be. And he's like acting like he's some normal guy who's like a bartender who cleans up and stuff. And then, and then there's like kind of weird, crazy shit that's happening in the town. Everyone's freaked out about it, and he isn't. He's like not freaked out about it. Like all the townspeople are like, the world is ending. And he's just very like stoic. And then they go back to like, they tell you his whole backstory and him like trying to get into like school, like for magic. He like tried really hard, and it's like a whole thing. The only thing I will say that I don't want to say I don't like anything about that. I love this book. I love the
You're
books.
allowed to have a thing that's not your favorite.
There's
That's
only
fine.
one thing. So you know how Tolkien will go off on tangents for 40 pages about a rock?
Yeah.
So Patrick Rothfuss doesn't do that, but he does love his tangents.
Okay.
So there are like side stories, because it's all story within a story within a story, and it's about like music and like song and magic, and he'll be like, I'm telling you about this guy's backstory, but also I created this really cool world, and there's like all these like side quests, and so you kind of spend arguably a little too much time
Okay.
on these side journeys that aren't, they like kind of contribute to the whole journey as a whole, but like they could easily be, like, if I were the editor,
Yeah.
I would be like, this needs to be shorter. Like, let's not spend 40 pages on a fairy orgy. Like,
I mean,
it's interesting and stuff, but like that could be,
sometimes
you just pull that right out and make it a novella, right?
That's true. So
Right.
it's a lot of stories in one big
A
story.
ton, and it's so, like, you're never actually mad at him, because
Yeah.
you're like, your writing is really good, the story is really good, but sometimes the side quests take away from like the urgency of like the main story. He
get that.
he fucking meanders. He takes his sweet ass time, but it's never about like a rock. It's never about scenery. It's about
Yes,
like
okay, it's a little
about
more
his world. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that is my favorite book, my favorite like series.
So that's
right
the
now.
trilogy title, or that's the first book?
No, the first book is The Name of the Wind, and then the
cool.
second one is, I think, Wise Man's Fear, and the third one is not out
TBD
yet,
coming?
and I can't wait
Is there
for
a
it.
date, like, or like a time?
No, he keeps saying, so it's happening, I'm working on it, but don't ask me. He's also really big, he's got a blog, he's really big into charities, he's really
cool.
big into Dungeons and Dragons. He even made,
Yes.
he made his own board game that's like about the world.
No way.
Yes.
So that
yeah.
makes sense how this could turn into a TV show and a movie and a game, because it's like
It's like
already
a whole
fully
world.
fleshed
I
out.
don't
That's
play video
awesome.
games. I do not play video
will.
games, but when this video game comes out, I told Andrew, I'm taking over your Xbox.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
this
mine
is
now.
mine now, because I just want to like immerse myself in this beautiful world that he created.
Well, it's gonna be good if that's.
I think when Miranda first approached him, he was kind of like, I don't know you. But then like went to see Hamilton, and now they're like mutually like in love with the other person's work. So it's gonna be
I
really
love that
good.
so much.
I know. It's gonna be a fantastic TV show. I just already know if those
Yeah.
are the two people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just gonna be so good. So I can't wait.
You have such a better recommendation than me, because
What's
you
yours?
actually, well, not that my recommendation is bad, but as we've said before, I don't read so much.
I don't read so good.
So I like don't have. I mean, honestly, I haven't read a full anything in a long time. What I decided to say for this answer, I'm rereading The Wicked and the Divine. Which is a graphic novel series that's super cool. It's put out by Image. I got to volume 3, like, probably 2.5 years ago, because it was the first comic I ever read.
Right.
It's actually really cool. I was talking about it on Instagram at New York Comic Con, and then a customer brought me her copy and gave it to me. She was like, I saw you talking about
Oh
how
my
you
God.
haven't read this yet. Here,
Here you
read
go.
it.
That's amazing.
Which is so cool. It was
Yeah.
my first comic. And so I read 3 in a row, and now it's up to, I think, volume 6, and I don't remember as much as I should. So I'm going back to the beginning.
That sounds good.
It's really good if you want an intro comic that you don't need to know anything going in, because you can read it starting right at page 1.
Right.
It's not like, read this Batman series and you need 70 years of backstory to get what's going on. You can
Yeah.
start it. It's beautiful. The colors are so amazing. The story in general is that there are gods who are like, reincarnated isn't the right word, but they come back every 90 years into the bodies of humans, and then they only live for 2 years. So that's like the general story, but it's like really young, cool people, and the
Really
dialogue
young,
is
cool
and the
people.
story's good. And
Cool
it's
people
really
being
pretty.
cool.
Yeah. So I don't have a very good
that's
explanation, but everyone read it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good recommendation.
Okay, good. Yeah, the recommendation's good. My description of it is just not good.
okay. It's
But
totally
the
fine.
next question, I got this. A new podcast that you are loving right now.
Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, They don't know what date it is.
I don't know how it took you this long to find this podcast.
Because I just don't. I've been listening to like wedding podcasts, like Bridezilla, because it's fucking awesome, and I'm planning a wedding.
Yeah.
So that's like where my head's been at. But then I hit a point where I was like, I don't want to think about this wedding anymore. I want to think about murder, which leads me into my favorite podcast of the moment, My Favorite Murder.
Which is my favorite I mean, it's been my favorite podcast since I started listening to podcasts.
Which I did not know.
So good.
I didn't know. I thought I just like discovered this thing on my own. But so I have always been super obsessed with trying. I feel like I could be a detective in another life. And I've always been obsessed with like, because I'm a librarian, so I've researched for a living. And I'm like, I could research the fuck out of some like unsolved crimes and figure out who did what. And I thought, so I like watch Criminal Minds and I like read creepy like true crime books. And Andrew is always, like weird stuff will happen in the news that's just like grisly and just awful. And I go on like deep dives. And I thought I was like the weirdest person. At one point I was like, am I a serial killer? Like, why am I so fascinated by this?
That's why this podcast is so popular and amazing, because all of us do that, and we're like, are we so weird?
I didn't know that anyone else did it. So Andrew would be like, oh, you should just write like a detective novel or something. And then I started listening to this podcast, and I was like, oh. Like, so it was like the same as when I went to library school, because I thought I was like some unique human. And then I went to library school and I was like, oh my God, my people.
There's
like
more of
my tribe. That's where you've been hiding. So I started listening to the podcast and I was like, oh, there's a word for people like me. And it's like not just me, it's everyone. And we're all murderinos.
We are all murderinos.
Yes, that is my favorite podcast.
I would have told you about it so long ago. I'm so happy you found it.
Yeah,
now.
It's so good.
That might have been the thing that made me
like
download the podcast app. Like that might have been the
It's really
one.
good. Well, I listen to it on Spotify because I don't have enough space on my phone for that podcast app. But like, it's so good.
It's so good. If you like the same things as me and Liz, you will live.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about what it's about? I mean, it's about murders.
You tell them.
Okay, so basically these two women, Georgia
Hardstark and Karen Kilgariff are both, like, they have been in comedy, and then they did the same thing. So, like, Liz has only listened to 10-ish
like
episodes.
10-ish, yeah. I just started.
To all of them. So, like, you will find out that basically they were at a party, had this conversation that was like,
I'm obsessed with murder.
And then on a weird whim, like, started this, and then their community of listeners did the same thing we both did, which is like, there's more of us.
Finally.
And now
I'm not a serial killer.
All the people. Yeah. So they go through every week, or every episode, they each, like, research a murder and talk about it. And then they have mini-sodes in between where
it's like
listeners.
Listeners they write in. Well, they kind of write in, and then their research guy, Steven with the mustache.
Steven Raymore is everyone's favorite.
He will pick like good ones, and sometimes there's a light theme, sometimes there's not, where people just tell them about weird things that have been going on in their hometown.
Yeah, so it used to be all murders, and then they were like, if it's like a weird mystery, if it's a ghost
if you
story,
found a pile of money buried in your backyard, if you found doubloons,
now it's
please
just kind of like weird
whatever.
Story,
like the one story about how someone thought that their baby brother was haunted by John Belushi. The funny man.
There's some creepy ghost stuff.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
One other thing about that podcast is I started listening to it, and they recommended Michelle McNamara's book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark, so I like same timed it from Amazon Prime, read it in about a day and a half, and then woke up after finishing it, and the news was like, we caught the Golden State Killer, and I was like, what
happened at a crazy rate?
What an amazing return on investment, because I just got invested in this whole story, and the book is really, really well written. It's like, you haven't read it yet. I just gave it to you.
Liz just gave it to me yesterday, so I'm going
to
read it.
But it's like, it's kind of what I was saying about Patrick Rothfuss. He takes fantasy and then just like writes it. It's like literature.
Awesome.
And her writing is so good. She takes all these dry facts and she just turns it into its prose.
Well, now it's also a perfect time for you guys to get this book and read it, because I have heard, I haven't read it yet, that it's a little eerie reading it because you're like, this person is still out there. And now you can read it and know that he's been caught, which is great.
Yes. No one can have the experience that I had because that's over now.
Right.
But it was pretty incredible. I was like, did I do this? Was it me?
You buying the book led them.
I solved the crime, guys.
All your dreams.
Yes,
all your hopes and dreams
You're
have been
welcome.
realized.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. What about you? What podcast?
So I listen to a ton of business podcasts, which are like not so interesting to most people. So I started listening to The Adventure Zone. Have you ever listened to that?
I have not.
Okay, so the three brothers who do My Brother, and Me. Have you listened to that?
No.
It's okay. So it's like a joke. What's the word I'm looking for? Advice column? Why did that take that long?
I don't know.
So they're three brothers, and so their interactions are really funny, and then like they're giving you like goofy, terrible advice, and then they all have like 6,000 podcasts now, and their whole family is involved. So the Adventure Zone is the three brothers and their dad playing Dungeons and Dragons together, and so they are like live narrating. Well, I mean, I guess D&D is like. It is a narration, but they're playing on the podcast, and so
That's
it's like
amazing.
they tell you their characters, and then you start loving their characters, and now there's like fan art of the characters and people cosplaying them at cons. It's
That's
so fun.
crazy.
And their dad like is the best. He's just I don't know. He's like we've played games with our friends' parents before, and it's that where it just adds a weird dynamic.
Like a real weird dynamic.
Yeah,
where you're like, shut up, Dad.
Yeah, but it's so great. And he's always the worst and like late and like eating crunchy chips on the podcast. And they're like, this is our job. Stop making noise.
Quiet.
So I have played one of like a D&D style game. It was Star Wars themed. And so like I'm not a huge D&D person, so you can totally love this podcast even if it's not
That's
like even if you're not like, oh, I've played D&D since I was in 8th grade and I've done 100 campaigns. Like you can know nothing, and they set it up really well for you to like get into it. Yeah, so Adventure Zone and My Favorite Murder. Please listen.
This episode of the Sartorial Geek podcast is sponsored by Logan Arch. Logan Arch has super cute, nostalgic, and nerdy accessories and apparel. If you're a Hamilton fan or a gaming fan, I think you'll find something that you love. They have adorable enamel pins and these really, really cute new coin purses and regular purses that I'm obsessed with. If that sounds up your alley, please check them out at loganarchchicago.com and all over the internet at loganarchchicago.
Okay, what TV show are you watching right now that you're into?
TV show.
Or movie. If you picked a movie instead, that's fine.
I
don't care.
Well, I could tell you both. Let me think actually for TV
I'll go first.
show. Okay.
So I just, based on all of my interests, I don't know how it took me so long to start watching. I just started watching the HBO show Barry with Bill Hader. I've only seen a few episodes. It's so great. He is a hired hitman who then, like, right at the beginning of the show, accidentally stumbles into an improv class. Like, that's where his hit is. Yeah. And then he's like, maybe I just want to do improv now forever and totally change my life around. Yeah. And, like, Bill Hader is normally such a character and so goofy, and in this movie he's being a person, Bill Hader.
Here's the weird thing about Bill Hader is that you think, like, he's this character actor, and then you see him do things like play Stefan, and you fully forget that it's him. Like, it's no longer him. Yeah. And that takes real skill. You can't be anybody and do that. Like, when Keenan is doing stuff, you know it's still him. It's just, like, goofy and a caricature and funny. But Bill Hader, like, fully
transforms
disappears into his character. Even, like, Documentary Now.
Yeah.
Everything you see him in on Documentary Now, he is no longer Bill Hader.
Which is so funny, too, because he has such a specific look that it's crazy that you would ever forget it's him, but you totally do.
You totally do. Which is why you think, oh, he's a character actor. Nope. He's just really good.
Oh, great
actor. He's really good.
Oh, yeah. So, you can pick a movie instead.
No, I'll do TV show.
Okay.
So, currently, my favorite TV show is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
It is so good. So I think one of my other best friends, Eric.
That's okay.
He told me. I he told me about the premise. And so when you first hear the title, which is what happened to me, I was on Hulu, I saw the title, and I was like, no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Watch this.
Please.
Yes.
Like, we don't need any more of this.
Yep.
And then he was like, not only did he tell me to watch it, but he was like, also, it's kind of a musical. And I was like, that sounds terrible. And then you watch. It sounds awful. And then you watch one episode and you're like, oh my God, this show is perfect. It is amazing. Yeah. It like takes all of these tropes and like flips them around. Yep. If you've not seen it or you've been turned off by the name or the fact that everyone's singing, it is so brilliantly written. Yeah, so
this
funny.
Is coming from two people who knew about it for years, said no
absolutely
freaking
not.
way, and now
like that stuff makes me mad when people are like, "You are crazy," and you're an ex-girlfriend, and you're not like, like I dumped her because she was crazy. I hate all of that stuff, and they take it all. They like stare it in the face, and they make you laugh. So definitely,
highly recommend.
Like you just have to watch it.
Yes,
you must.
Yes, I fully.
What's her name? Rachel Bloom.
Yes.
She is just a gem. Also, it's full of body positivity, which I love. And they don't make it like you're not like, I'm oversized in the brunt of the joke. Or they don't even point at it.
They're not like, this is us being accepted.
This is us being accepted. This is us being like bigger, and big girls deserve love too. They just don't. Yeah. You just get love. Yep. And you are whatever size you are, and like that's fine. And they do a lot of like women supporting women in the show. You think it's gonna go one way, and then it just like it's so good. It's got tons of depth and complexity, and like the title, you'll get the title once you start watching it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's so good.
It's amazing.
This is actually perfect because the next thing was a movie. A movie that's not like that no one's like talking about now, but it is still really good.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite movie of all time. People, please don't judge me. A little backstory on my childhood. We did not have cable. For the longest time, we didn't even have television.
Well, no, I had a TV.
Like a TV. We didn't have anything. We didn't have like VHS. We didn't have anything. So when we finally got like one small television.
Wait, how old were you?
15 maybe?
Oh my God.
14 or 15?
Yeah,
so that's why I read so much, because that was like my only form of entertainment. I would just go to the library and like get lost in the romance section way too young.
But you did the right thing, because I watched all the TV, and now I'm struggling to come up with a book recommendation.
So we had like maybe three movies on VHS, one of which was Remember the Titans.
Yep. So
I have seen it. We used to come home from school and then just like put it in and then watch it all the way through every day. Sometimes multiple times a day. So I'm a little biased, but I love that movie.
Dude,
I love baby Ryan Gosling. Like in that movie.
Okay, so when did that movie come out? When we were like in middle school?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. So it came out before, and then I watched it maybe in college, and I was like,
baby Denzel Washington.
Well, but for Ryan Gosling, I was like, this guy is so cute. I wish he would like come back. And then I got my friggin' wish. He's in everything now.
So before this, I think or maybe after this, but he was also like young Hercules for a hot minute.
I didn't even watch that. I don't know.
I just know because like it was him, and I was like, Ryan Gosling. I am plastering your poster all over my walls. So I made Andrew, my fiance, watch Remember the Titans recently because he had never seen it. It was maybe 2 years ago. He hadn't seen it.
How?
Because he doesn't do like anything that's like maybe Disney or maybe like it has to be like an art film, or he just won't even deign to watch it. But he is a big crier during movies, and so like movies that you wouldn't think people would cry over. So I made him watch this with me.
It's emotional though.
Well, he was making fun of it before I put it in. Then it started. I didn't hear a word out of him. And then I look over, maybe like 3/4 of the way through, and tears are just streaming down his face because it's so heartwarming and such a feel-good movie, and everyone should watch it. If you're having a good day or a bad day, it'll make your good day better.
Yeah.
And it will make your bad day
Still
Good.
better.
Good.
Yeah, I don't make it all the way good.
Yeah, just like a regular good old day. So that is my
I fully support that.
movie recommendation.
If anyone has
Watch Remember the Titans. If you want me to come over to your house and then recite the whole thing while you're trying to watch it super obnoxiously, like we can arrange that too. Just let Jordan know.
Liz is at LZ Crowder.
Yeah,
Send her a
that's it.
message. She'll come over.
Send me a message.
Mine is I have seen it. I saw it when it came out, and then I like forget about it for a year. Watch it again, love it. Forget about it. Watch it again, love it. So actually, after our episode with Joey, we were talking about Lego Batman. I was home alone for like a whole night, and I watched Lego Batman. And then I went on a Michael Cera binge.
Oh boy.
And I next watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Okay. It's so freaking good. It's ridiculous. And when it came out, like, it was not very popular. Like,
I didn't think it was. I remember that.
It was a big bomb. Like, financially, the movie did not do well. I think it maybe came out a little too early.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it came out now.
People
but it's
would
so
gonna-
crazy because, so Michael Cera looks the same. He has literally
Obviously.
never stopped. He looks exactly the same. But the cast is so incredible. It's, everyone's like, way before we really knew who they were. Anna Kendrick, Aubrey Plaza, Chris Evans.
Was this before we knew who they were?
Like, it was before they were big. Like, it was before Parks and Rec.
But wasn't Anna Kendrick all about like musical theater
Maybe people knew who
movies?
she was. I have no idea. It was before I knew. Like, now I'm looking back and I'm like, wait, these are all people
Yeah.
that I love, and they're all like
Yeah.
siblings. They're all like teenager. Like, it's great. The cast is so good. Scott Pilgrim is also one of the first comic series I ever read.
Okay.
It's great because you can just bounce right in. Like,
Right.
it's amazing. So if you like super weird, video gamey, nerdy movies, and you like all the same actors as me, you will love it.
Yes.
Next thing, are there any cool places you've been shopping lately?
Cool places I've been shopping. So this is actually a weird cool place, but I was on Facebook, and some like obscure like boutique shop in Omaha was having a raffle or like a giveaway, and you like entered. I never win anything, but I won a shirt, and I was like, oh, that's cool. This is cute. So then I started, I just started like looking at their shop. I get their emails, I get their like discount codes, and I just started like randomly exclusively shopping through them. I got my wedding
Good.
shoes from them. I buy like, every time they send me a coupon that's like, hey, thanks for shopping with us, here's 10% off. I drop like another $200.
Your entire outfit you were
shirt.
wearing yesterday.
Yes,
was in there?
yesterday, my entire outfit. So that's actually the picture that will be in the second issue of the magazine.
Yeah, our letter from the editor.
Yeah,
pick.
if you want to see how cute I look shopping at this boutique store in Omaha that
Yeah.
ships to me in like 2 days, pick up our magazine. It's called Hello Holiday.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite shop.
I had never heard of them until we were about to start recording, and Liz pulled open the website, and it's gorgeous. Like, it's
So
beautiful.
cute.
I'm about to go shopping.
Everyone
so be careful,
should.
but
Yeah, they
also
have
go.
a ton of cute stuff. A
Yeah.
ton of cute stuff. Even my earrings were from them yesterday. I swear to God.
awesome.
The only thing that wasn't from them were my shoes.
But you do have shoes from there too. So
I do,
you
my
just
wedding
happen to
shoes.
not be wearing them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like
Put together a whole
burgundy, they're like velvets, and they're burgundy, and they've got like this big chunky black heel, but then also like a strap on the back, and they're so funky and so fucking cute.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to wear them.
Yay.
You'll see them in September.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
What about you?
I was at Comic-Con in Chicago, and someone had this super, super cool book bag that had a very subtle Princess Leia pattern on it. And I love things that adults can pull off that are subtly nerdy and you don't look insane, but you still can show like things you love.
Yeah.
So she told me where she got it from. It is from State Bags. So they have a whole Star Wars collection. They're like, they have stuff that isn't book bags, but they're mostly bags. Like, they have like No, they're called belt bags, not fanny
No,
packs.
they're not.
Sorry.
No, they are. Let the record reflect that a fanny pack is a fanny pack.
They have fanny packs, they have book bags, they have totes and stuff. So they have a whole like licensed Star Wars line. It's very, very cool. And a lot of Princess
Belt
Leia
bags. Get out. Out. Get out.
Okay, last thing. What is a cool organization or charity that you're into?
Okay, so in, what was it, 2011?
Yeah.
I worked as an intern for a place called Six Word Memoirs. The guy who runs it is the coolest person ever. He's very
He really is.
he's very chill. He kind of acts like he's from California, and now I'm wondering if that's where he was like born and raised. I can't remember, but when we knew him, he lived in Brooklyn. And the premise of his whole website is, I think it started from like an Ernest Hemingway, that like 6-word story he challenged himself to, where it was for sale, baby shoes never worn. And so Larry, the guy who started 6-Word Memoirs, was like, let's microblog, like let's write our memoirs in 6 words. So he has this whole website. It's called Smith Magazine, and you can find them at sixwordmemoirs.com. One fun fact about him is he's married to a woman named Piper, and if the names Larry and Piper sound very familiar to you,
Yep.
His wife is actually the woman who wrote Orange is the New Black, the book. And then I think she helps work on the show, but very like, it's very like a hands-off approach, but they have to kind of run stuff by her. And now the show has fully diverged from the book and her life, but they're still like super involved in that.
Yeah, but she's that Piper.
Yeah, she's that Piper, and he is that Larry. So definitely check out sixwordmemoirs.com. Write a 6-word memoir. It's free. It's actually harder than you think to do, but also you get some pretty amazing results.
And then they have books too that are collections.
Yes,
and your name
do.
is in
two
of them.
My name is in 2 of them. And oh no, so I helped like with one, and then I'm in a second one because they picked one of my memoirs for the book. I'm trying to remember.
I have the Valentine's one, definitely.
Yeah, because you came to one of those shows with me.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Do they still do events?
They do, but he doesn't live in Brooklyn anymore.
Oh yeah.
They moved to like the Midwest.
Well, so if you follow them and you are near any places that they do events, they're super cool. They're like live readings, but more more interesting. But to me, they're more interesting.
Definitely interesting. It kind of has a bit of like the Moth feel. Yeah. Only it's less. They're shorter.
Yeah.
It's like that same kind of like, this is a creative writing environment.
Cool.
And the community is like so supportive and like nice to each other, and you know everybody by like their handle.
Yeah.
And then when you finally come to these like in-person events, you're like, oh my god, like now I can put a face to like all of your 6-word memoirs. So it's really amazing. You should check out his website.
Yeah, and like their social is really fun to follow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'll be like slightly inspired every time you see it.
Definitely inspired. Definitely inspired.
I don't know why I said slightly. I meant a little bit.
Because it's short.
Yeah.
Because it's only 6 words.
You'll be inspired a lot in a short amount.
Yeah.
Not you'll be inspired a little bit. Sorry.
You'll only be a tiny
opposite of what I meant.
Inspired. 5% inspired. 95% not inspired at all.
I'm glad I clarified. That was opposite day.
Yes.
So mine I talk about all the time, and if you buy anything from our kids collection at Jordan Danae, we donate $5 from all the purchases to Donors Choose, which I first heard about on the Colbert Report when Stephen Colbert was still doing that, because he and Oprah are huge supporters of Donors Choose, which is, it's ish like Kickstarter for teachers, but instead of a project, it's a classroom project where the teachers will upload a project that they want to do, all of the supplies that they need to be able to do it, and then the organization will vet it. So it's not just like, hi, my kids need books, and so I need $5,000 for one copy. Like, they make sure it's actually going to the school. It's all vetted. But it's really cool because teachers don't make a lot of money, and if they don't have if they don't have what they need for their classroom, they either just don't get it or they have to spend the generally way too small salaries. I think all teachers should be paid way more than they are
definitely.
of their own money to buy things. So this is like a really nice way that instead of just like blanket donating to kids, you can actually say like this, you can search by zip code, you can search by type of project, you can search by a specific teacher if you like know those people, and you can also search by poverty level of the area. And then the coolest thing is you get an email right away as a thank you from the teacher, and then you get updates with photos from the teacher, and then the kids write you thank you notes.
Oh, are you gonna cry?
Yeah, every time I
know
open
you
it,
love like students.
and like sometimes, so you should just do this at least once. Donate to a very, very young classroom, like 1st or 2nd grade, because the kids do it all, and so they'll draw pictures, they'll spell everything wrong. It's so cute. We donated to, I think it was the 2nd grade classroom that was doing a space project, so they all drew like the planets and used glitter and like wrote, everything was spelled wrong. They were drawing like rockets that made no sense. It was so cute. They've been on my fridge for like 5 years.
That's
I
adorable.
love it so much. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed our list of topics. Let us know if you enjoy these kinds of episodes and if you like hearing what we're learning about.
Yeah.
We both end up learning and hearing about so many things because of our jobs and what we do. So we have a lot of suggestions all the time.
And if you have any recommendations for what else we should cover, you should let us know.
Yeah, so every single episode on our website has a... we have a blog post that goes over all the show notes, but then also you can leave comments there. But we just started a super cool new project.
Yes.
It is on Mighty Networks, which I had never heard of. You may have also never heard of it. But it's basically everything that you wish like Twitter lists and Facebook groups and email chains could be, but it is all of them in all the best ways together.
Yeah.
So it's like actually an online network that makes sense and works the way you want it to. So we've set one up that have different circles of like book clubs, and if you are a vendor looking for influencers, if you are a fan and you just want to hear cool things. So we think it's going to be super, super cool and are very excited.
So I've already signed up, and we have actually a lot of people who have already signed up and they're already contributing and like writing comments, and people are interacting, so you definitely should get on board.
And you can kind of be as in it or as not, like it's not in a social network you're already in, so it's not gonna like mess with your stuff.
Right.
You can either get all the notifications
or none of
you
them.
Can pick just the things you want, or none and
Right.
just pop in when you're interested.
Or like sign up and then lurk. Like see what people are talking about. You don't have to actually say anything yourself. You might be inspired to because it's a very welcoming community. But
and Liz and I are in there all the time.
And we're so
love talking
nice.
to you. And
We're
then
the
if you
best.
like also hate, something like Facebook maybe, and you never want to look at it
or
again,
you don't have a Facebook.
you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never have to.
You don't have to get sucked into the awful news.
You just
feed
hang out with
because
cool
there isn't
people
one.
who care about the stuff you care about, and it's amazing.
And then you can be all of our best friends.
Woohoo!
Yay! So thank you so much. You can please check out our new community. You can leave us a review if you want.
Yep.
You can support our Patreon if you want.
If you want, please
That'd be really
do
awesome.
it. It would be really cool. We would love you forever.
Actual cool rewards. Like
Yes.
we'll give you presents. We're not just asking you to
Jordan,
do it for
Jordan
nothing.
will give you gifts.
Yes,
if
100%.
Yes, if you support us that way.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Have a
you.
really good week and stay nerdy.